Everybody, you, me, everybody, la-di-da-di, everybody want to be treated with respect. And one of the ways we can do that when interacting with another human being is by the tone of voice and the words that we use. Hi, I'm John, founder and president of Gentle Response, a consulting company that specializes in conducting very dynamic, realistic conflict de-escalation training seminars. Now, before I get going and forget, hit that like and subscribe button. Because what I've been doing since the pandemic hit is I find these incidences that make it into the news and all that, and I end up making comments and talk about how conflict de-escalation training, knowledge, and skills would have made a big difference on how the situation played out. Now, think about the last time you felt offended and put off by someone's tone of voice, the way they were talking to you. So don't be doing that to other people, right? So anyway, I found this on YouTube, a traffic stop that happened in 2019 in Connecticut. A car was being stopped for speeding, and the driver initially didn't pull over when he was lit up, and the police officer ended up tapping his air horn and his sirens a couple times. Once the driver finally pulled over, the police officer's walking up, and you hear the driver initiate a friendly greeting, and you can hear a little bit of confusion in his voice because a lot of drivers are kind of initially confused as to why they're being stopped. And as the driver initiates contact, he says, "Hi," literally almost like that. It's a very friendly but sounding confused greeting, and the officer's reaction and response was a sarcastic, "What are you doing on the phone?" And it begins to go sideways from there. Anytime you start off an initial contact with a you statement, forceful you statement like that, that can really set a negative tone, literally, for the rest of the contact that you have with this person. The driver ends up trying to explain why he initially didn't stop and so on. Now, to the officer's credit, he did let the driver explain himself. Now, that's one of the ways we can also show someone some respect, is by letting them speak, and he does that. However, the officer from time to time would respond with sarcastic and condescending remarks. As a matter of fact, at one point when the driver expressed a little confusion as to where he was at because he's not from that area, the driver sarcastically said, "So you don't even know where you're at?" A very unnecessary comment, a very unnecessary statement. And it just ended up with this driver making a complaint against the police officer for being rude and discourteous and all that. After an investigation, it was determined that the officer did not violate rules or policy and had acted professionally. I personally believe that officer could have handled it a lot more professionally. You can do everything right, not violate policy and procedures, and really still do everything wrong. I'll give you an example. A number of years ago, the school bus driver for my daughter drove off and left my daughter standing at the top of the driveway here. My daughter's bus stop is right at the end of the driveway. Drove off with my daughter beginning to walk down the driveway to the bus. And of course, I called and raised a big stink about it. And then came the day when I was home this time, and the bus pulled up, and I ran up to the driver and told the driver, "Look, my daughter's finishing brushing her teeth, and she'll be down shortly." And the bus driver simply told me I can give her 3 minutes. I ran up to the house, and because I knew she had driven away before, I started recording on my phone. And sure enough, as my daughter reached the door, putting on her backpack, getting ready to walk to the bus, the driver put it in gear and drove away. Did she violate any rules, policy, regulations, anything like that? No, she gave us 3 minutes, and when 3 minutes was up, she drove away. I know she doesn't work there anymore after I called up and really raised a big stink about it, and then showed them the video. Folks, you can do everything right and still do it all wrong. So just because you don't violate policy and procedure, if you use the wrong tone of voice, you use the wrong words, you're wrong. So teaching points in this video: everyone wants to be treated with respect. Do not forget that number one universal truth. Everyone wants to be treated with respect, and one of the ways we can do that, again, is with the tone of voice and the words that we use. And it's not like we don't know anything about tone of voice, because we learned very early in our life, our parents telling us, "Don't talk to me in that tone of voice." So we know, you know, just be careful about the tone of voice and the words you use. And for police officers, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you could dramatically reduce the amount of discourtesy complaints against you just by simply being more aware of any control of your tone of voice and the words you use. Another teaching point here is eye contact. In this video, you never see the police officer raise his sunglasses as he's addressing the driver. Eye contact is absolutely critical with the human animal in creating a bond, a connection with another human being. It happens at a very subconscious level. It happens automatically, instinctively, and so on. And if you at least make an effort to raise your sunglasses to make eye contact with another human being, even if they don't reciprocate, but you make the effort to raise your sunglasses, you are more apt to create enough of a connection in that moment to be able to effectively and peacefully handle this interaction, especially if it potentially could go sideways. So for police officers especially, this lesson point, make eye contact with people. Just take a moment to lift your sunglasses to make eye contact with the driver, even if they don't reciprocate. You at least do that. For one thing, from officer safety standpoint, without the dark shades covering and filtering your eyes, you have an opportunity to look inside that vehicle more clearly from an officer standpoint and make sure you don't see anything that could potentially be used as a weapon against you. So once again, folks, be very well aware that people want to be treated with respect, and one of the easiest, quickest ways we can do that is being aware of our tone of voice and the words we use. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.